All right, everyone. So happy to have you here today in the healing room. My name is Marcia Williams. I am a licensed therapist and I'm also a recovery coach. I am here for you every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, where I bring to you the most common questions that are asked in my practice. I work with therapy clients and coaching clients every day from all over, and so many questions come to me through our time together. And so I wanted to make this a weekly opportunity to share with you, all of my viewers and followers, which I'm so thankful that you are here. So thankful that you are sharing this moment with me because I'm dedicated to you, to this healing journey. My mission in life is to bring to you the tools, the skills, the resources, the things that helped me in my healing journey, and that I use and share with my clients in my practice every day. So tonight we have our topic of the day, which is, when will I feel like myself again? When will I be healed? When will I feel like I'm over this relationship? If you're in a relationship with a narcissist or have been in a relationship with a narcissist, then you know what I mean. I was married to a narcissist for 30 years, and in my healing journey, of which I've been divorced for 4.5 years, I've been through the ups and downs. And trust me when I say the healing doesn't just begin when you leave, it begins long before, because it is a process. It is a process of um, unconditioning ourselves to the weeks, months, or years, depending on how long your relationship with the narcissist has been, of manipulation that you have endured in order to reclaim yourself, to reclaim who you truly are. So if you've ever asked yourself, why do I feel this way? Why am I still feeling this way? Please know that you are not alone. Please know that this journey is not yours to go through alone. So I'm here every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern just to share tidbits with you to help you on your healing journey. So maybe if you've left a relationship recently and you still don't feel free, you still feel bonded, trauma bonded, which is another topic we will talk about in the upcoming weeks. When you feel like you're still connected in some way, emotionally, mentally, you can't get their voice out of your head. And maybe you've been gone for a year or two or more. I'm here to tell you that this is the journey. And it doesn't mean you're stuck. It doesn't mean you're not healing. It actually means that you are. And so the healing journey is about embracing, as uncomfortable as it is, because no one wants to keep feeling this way. You think that when you realize you're in a relationship with a narcissist, you think that you now know what you need to do to protect yourself. You're doing all the things to move forward. Why am I still feeling like this? Why do I still feel stuck? Why do I still feel attached? And I don't want to be. I want to be over it. I want to move on with my life. So if that's you, let me tell you, healing, there's no deadline to healing. It's a journey. I know that that is so cliche. It's not a destination, it's a journey, blah, blah, blah. But I'm here to tell you that within this journey, it's not just about getting over that relationship. It's about understanding yourself, understanding yourself. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Why am I still feeling like I'm not myself? When will I be healed? That's the topic tonight. And don't worry if you can't stay, if you're going to miss this very important message, just drop recap. I will send you a recap if you can't stay. If you can stay, I'm so glad you're here. Hi, Paul. Hi, Tasha. Hi, Barbara. So glad you guys are here. Let's get into it. So, what's the hardest part of healing for you right now? Is it grief? Complicated grief. We know that very well. If you don't know about that, that's what you're experiencing, and we're going to talk about it. Triggers. Those triggers we wish would go away. When will I stop being triggered by a song, by a place, by a smell? When will I stop hearing their voice in my head, causing self-doubt? what else am I going to be experiencing that I'm just really wanting to go away? So that's what you're likely asking yourself on this healing journey. This is a part of healing. You questioning yourself gives you an opportunity to replace that self-doubt with positive thoughts. CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. If you're in therapy, you're familiar with it. If you're not, I absolutely recommend that you work with someone, a therapist who understands, a therapist who gets it, who understands what the healing process is like, specifically from a narcissistic relationship, because I promise you it is different. So you may also ask yourself, why is it taking so long? I have clients ask me this all the time. Why is it taking so long? I left, I finally did the hard thing, and I'm still struggling. I can't sleep, I'm having dreams, or I miss them. That's the hardest one to admit, is when you miss someone who has been so hurtful to you, so much so that you've had to leave and remove yourself from that environment. This is called complicated grief. You're not just grieving the person, you are grieving who you were and who you thought that they were. Think about the days, the months, the weeks, the years that you've put into this relationship. That's worth grieving over. This is where self-compassion comes in. Allowing yourself to grieve a relationship where you gave it your all. Not that we were perfect, but we gave it our all. We gave it our all. We were as loyal or dedicated as a human being could be. And so grieving is natural. Grieving is a part of the healing journey, and it's uncomfortable. It doesn't feel good. It's not where you want to be because you want to move on with your life. But just like when we lose a loved one, we grieve. It's much less comfortable to grieve someone that you know was unhealthy for you, but I want you to know that it is necessary. And it's more helpful for you to validate those feelings than to try to push them away, to try to ignore them, to try to distract yourself with maybe healthy or unhealthy practices. This is where self-care comes into play. Very important. So also during this healing journey, you're wondering why you are still experiencing flashbacks, or what they're called as trauma loops. So your nervous system is still catching up to the fact that you are free from this. Remember, you lived in survival mode, whether you know it or not. Of course, looking back, and if you've been processing your relationship, then you know that you were surviving in a relationship with a narcissist. Okay. So many of my clients say, I know what they're going to say, and I know when to bring up something, when not to bring up something. I know when I'm going to get shut down. We just learn to walk on eggshells. We learn to predict their behavior. So your nervous system needs time to heal, not just your heart, not just your thoughts, not just your feelings, but your nervous system is still catching up. Then there is cognitive dissonance. You miss someone who hurt you. That doesn't make you weak. You miss someone, they hurt you. This is cognitive dissonance. It doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. We are empathetic in nature, and we're still going to have empathy. I've had clients say to me, I still feel sorry for them. I was always there to take care of this, to take care of that, to protect them, to do the things for them, doctor's appointments. Maybe they have health issues that kept you there. That cognitive dissonance is real, and it's valid because you care, and there's nothing wrong with caring while you are detaching, while you are separating yourself from the person who harmed you. Okay? So this does not make you weak. And you're doing it alone. It's hard to heal when you feel isolated, misunderstood, or unsupported. And many of us feel this way on this healing journey, especially if you are in a relationship with a covert narcissist. And so everyone's experience of them is going to be different. That was our conversation last week. Why do they treat me differently than they do publicly to others? Public praise, private punishment. That was last week. This week, it's why am I not feeling healed? Why am I not over this person? So we're talking about cognitive dissonance. We're talking about you're really feeling alone, especially if you've spent a lot of time in this relationship. And maybe, like in my case, and I know some of you here tonight have been in this type of relationship for decades. 1, 2, or in my case, 3 decades. I met my narcissist when I was 17 years old. I did not know how to be on my own. I graduated from high school, left my childhood home, and moved into a dorm in college and immediately met my then boyfriend. From college, moved out directly into an apartment with my fiance and then married and children. I have not lived alone since well, ever. Okay. So that's a long time. And so it's scary and it feels very lonely to even think about being on your own. But let's say now that you are, it is expected that you will feel uncomfortable. But I promise you, uncomfortable and unfamiliar is good, is good. We are retraining our brains. We are relearning how to be our true selves. So here's an empowerment shift. Healing is not linear. It's not. Paul is here and he knows, he talks about it all the time, up and down. This is what the healing journey looks like, up and down. There is no linear process in the healing journey. So this is important to understand so that you can allow yourself to be where you are. Be where you are. You're allowing yourself to process maybe things that have been suppressed over the months or years. Your body is catching up. Your nervous system is catching up. So by you being here tonight, by you educating yourself, by you possibly being in therapy or support groups, of which I offer all of those things on my website, thepassagetopeace.com, this is you healing. So do know that the feelings that you have that make you feel so uncomfortable, it's because of your expectations of yourself, which I have to tell you are unrealistic, that you should be over it. You need time. And we know that. We hear that all the time. It's so annoying. Time heals all pain. Yeah. Well, how much time is the question? And unfortunately, there's no answer to that because you deserve, your heart deserves, your mind, your spirit, your nervous system literally deserves the time to heal. Okay, so here's what's important. Stop judging your timeline. Stop judging your timeline. You're not too late. It's never too late. And I'm a testament to that. 30 years. I started mentally reprogramming myself at year, 26, 27. So that healing journey for me started long before I left, because I started to open my eyes and realize that this is not the life I want to live. I finally was ready to accept. That's the other thing. We can only heal or begin the healing journey when we are ready, when we're ready, when our heart is ready, when our mind is ready, when we have the emotional, mental bandwidth or capacity to take on this huge undertaking of rebirth or reclaiming ourself. So again, What you can start doing differently today is stop judging yourself. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. Okay? Very important that you self validate. That's another reason why possibly we were in a relationship with a narcissist longer than what we should have been, is because of needing or wanting their validation. Well, this is an opportunity for you to practice, because that's what the healing journey is about too, is about practicing loving ourselves, honoring ourselves, validating ourselves. We need time to practice these skills that don't come easily for us. Create rituals for yourself, rest, emotional regulation. It takes deliberate, intentional acts of healing, deliberate and intentional acts of self-care. So emotional regulation techniques, DBT, cognitive um, behavioral techniques, CBT. These are things that don't come naturally. These are things that we're having to rewire our brains. We're having to rewire the way that we think so that we are no longer dependent on the narcissist to validate who we are. This is why the healing journey is what it is and needs all of the time that it takes to get to where we want to be and where we need to be, which is a healthier you. So get in supportive spaces like this. And if you are just now joining and you need a recap, please just drop recap in the whatever post that you see on my channel, and you will get a recap of this live. Okay. So right now, for those of you who are here, listen, supportive spaces, support groups, a community of healing is so important because you're not alone. And I think by now, with you being here, with you being on Instagram and seeing all of the support that there is for you to take in, you know that you're not alone. And that's why I'm here, is because when I was going through it, it felt very alone for me. So I know how you feel. I understand. And that's why I've dedicated my practice to anyone and everyone who is on this healing journey, because I'm on it with you, completely with you. So ask yourself, what would it even look like if you stopped trying to feel like your old self? If you let go of your old self and started becoming your real self, who you really are, who you really want to be, what would that look like? Visualize that. Spend time thinking about who you want to be or who you used to be and reclaim that. And it's not easy because of the complicated grief. Complicated grief is where we are processing all of those feelings that keep us on an emotional roller coaster. We're sad, we're angry, we're excited about our freedom, we're looking forward to freedom. What will our life look like? But then we miss them and then we're angry again. It's complicated grief. And in this process, there is quite the juggling act of managing all of these emotions and trying to reclaim who you really are. So having a community of support, which is what I offer in Passage to Peace, which is P2P, a community of healers who come together every day and support each other, whether there is a support group to attend or not. You have a home, a virtual home, and a community of people who are healing on some level in the same way that you are. So if you're trying to do this on your own and wondering why it's so painful, it truly is because it's not even meant for you to do alone. It's meant for you to have support. This type of relationship is already so isolating, and it's not something that our brains are on its own. It's jumbled up in there. That's what manipulation does. It We're familiar with the foggy memory. We're familiar with the emotional chaos. We're familiar with the confusion. So if you're trying to do this on your own with a brain that's been through that, it makes it that much more difficult. So I encourage you to keep doing what you're doing, because if you're here, you know that you need help. If you're here, you know that you need support. And I'm so thankful to be a part of your healing journey in any way that I possibly can. So be gentle with yourself. Please know that healing is not on a timeline and everyone is different, but you will, and I guarantee you, because I'm a walking, living, breathing testimony, I literally left my marriage, drove 1,000 miles away, and went to my best friend, who was a huge support at that time. And I stayed in her basement for 3 to 6 months. And I was like, is this what life looks like after a narcissistic relationship? How is this fair? But baby steps. That was my very first stepping stone. And in the midst of those basement cement walls, I still found a reason to be thankful because I knew I was moving forward. And that uncomfortable feeling of being in a space that was so unfamiliar to me was necessary, because while I was doing that, I was in therapy, I was journaling, and I was visualizing the me who I knew I was capable of being. And this was just a baby step because I know I wasn't meant to be in somebody's basement. But hey, that's how I got from point A to point B to point C and on. And now I could not be happier, but it took time. And now, 4.5 going on 5 years later, I'm living my very best life. And I'm still on the healing journey. I will never say I'm healed because I'm always evolving. And I love that about this journey. We're always evolving. So allow yourself to be where you are, honor yourself, and practice, practice, practice reclaiming who you were or who you want to be. So thank you, everybody, for joining once again. For those of you who are here, I'm so thankful. Those of you who may have missed it or catching the tail end in my next or any recent post today, please just drop recap in the chats and you will get sent to you right away a recap of this one, and we'll do that every week so you never miss a beat. I love when you're here, and I would love to have you here every week on Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Today we talked about, when will I feel like myself again? When will I feel healed after a relationship with a narcissist? And so drop recap in any chat on my post from today, and you will get the recap if you're just joining. So I'm thankful to have you, and I want to say lastly to you as a reminder, your healing journey is unique to you. As isolating as this feels, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And in your time, as you learn to honor yourself and love yourself and respect yourself, this is you preparing to live a happier, safer, emotionally safer life going forward. And who knows, you may not be thinking about dating right now because you're in the healing journey, but you have a long life to live, and you're going to live it to the fullest, and you want to be healthy and get healthier and healthier so that you attract healthy. We got to understand that the other 50%, I always talk about the 50-50 rule. The other 50% is what made me vulnerable, what made me a target for the narcissist. And so this healing journey is an opportunity for me to take time to dig into that in therapy and in my own process, whatever that is for you. So is it low self-esteem? Is it control? Is it people pleasing? Is it childhood trauma that hasn't been processed? The healing journey is the time that you need to process things that we thought, hoped, believed that this person, this relationship would complete us. That's what possibly we were hoping in this relationship. Well, now it's time with the rose-colored glasses coming off. It's time to now acknowledge that I am in control. I am in control. I'm learning the manipulation tactics. I'm spotting them. That's a master class that's coming soon that I created, Darvo versus Peace. Darvo versus Peace. This is where we're going to learn about how to spot those manipulation tactics, how to protect yourself, not just in your current relationship, but going forward. We don't want to continue to be seen as an opportunity for a narcissist. You know, we want to scare them away. Well, what does that take? That takes self-love. So that when we set boundaries, for someone to cross our boundaries, we are immediately like, oh no, you're in the wrong place. That's not what I do. I'm so glad that I can see the difference in myself from then to now, because that's how I was then. My boundaries were not clear, not even to me. So I was easily manipulated by a narcissist. I was easily open to being morphed and groomed because I wasn't sure of who I was. And I didn't have the confidence to even stand up for who I was or thought I wanted to be. And so I latched on to someone who I thought could elevate me. But that mistake cost me years, decades. And the good thing about the healing journey is that it's never too late. At 55 years old, I feel amazing. I'm excited, and yet there's still ups and downs. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. The healing journey, because life, what are we talking about? We're talking about life. You know, life is not linear, and neither is the healing journey. So be kind to yourself. Acknowledge that what you've experienced is abuse. Manipulation is abuse, and give yourself time. Give yourself time. You will look in the mirror and be like, there she is, or there he is, there I am. Okay, and say, I'm back. Love yourself. Look in the mirror and love yourself every day. So again, if you're just now joining, I'm so happy you're here. I'm here every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern in the healing room. Every week is a different topic that we're going to touch on. My clients in my therapy and coaching programs are asking these questions every day. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to bring it to you every week. If you missed the earlier part of this, in any of my posts today, drop recap in the chats, and you will automatically get sent a recap of this week. And that will be the case every week. So you'll never miss anything. I want to be here for you. I know what I went through in a 30-year marriage to a narcissist was not for nothing. It was for this. It was for this very purpose. I found my purpose, and I'm walking in it, and I want to take you with me. So thank you for being here. Keep taking care of yourself. Be kind to yourself, compassionate with yourself, because that's what the healing journey is for. Take care, everyone. Good night.